Okay, hey guys, how you guys doing? How is the festive season going for you guys? Do you have any big plans? What's up? What's up? Tell me in the comment section. So I'm making this recording to give you guys an update of how my channel is going to be going because I've taken a while just thinking about my channel and how I should approach it getting into the new year. You know, there's videos that were on my channel from like 2022, 2023, especially the videos in which the documentary videos where I'm interviewing people in business. Those videos have been on the channel for a while and they were from like 2022, 2023. They're videos that have been there for a while. And the reason why I want to I'm changing my approach for the channel is because I feel like this channel is going to be a lot more centered around me and not in the sense that it was before, but also because of how I currently think now. For a long time I was like trying to hold on to that past self, the curious Chris that was into business, that was reading books and all of this. But I've just come to the realization that I'm in a different spot in my life right now where how I approach things, how I take on life is different, how I think is different. Like I can't keep on trying to hold on to that past self, and it's been hindering me from actually taking on this YouTube thing entirely. I've not been putting out videos, possibly because maybe I've been going, partly because I've been going through, I've been stuff have been happening, you know, but the main reason I haven't really taken this on a lot is because I've always had this thing at the back of my mind that I'm going to get back to making documentaries type of videos. I'm going to get back to making these videos that are hella edited, that are meant to keep you watching for a while. But when I came to sit down, at least last night, and also like the previous days, I've just been thinking on it, like how should I take on my channel. Last night I just came to the realization that I'm holding on to this past self, and this past self isn't allowing me to grow. It isn't allowing me to grow. It isn't allowing me to take on a different image or a different approach on the internet. And I know I want to make it on YouTube, but wanting to make it on YouTube, simply just wanting to make it on YouTube alone isn't enough. And because I've been having that thing in me that I want to make it on YouTube, I've always thought that I could go back to making the documentary type videos. But that's a past self. That is a Chris from like 3-4 years ago. I can't really, like, I've been trying to embody that type of Chris, and it's just not working out for me. Like, I've gone through experiences and it's just changed how I tend to approach life and all of that. And even if right now, even if I tell myself like get back to reading and all, I do open a book from now on, from here and there, from time to time, but rarely do I like maintain the pace. Rarely do I keep up with it. So that old self, was holding me back. And yeah, I know it's going to take a hit on my channel in a way, because those videos were bringing views, were bringing, people onto the channel, but now I've made them unlisted. I've unlisted the videos. Actually, at first, I had first unlisted the videos that, the videos that I was just like these types of videos where I was just like sitting in front of the camera and I just talk to the camera. I had first unlisted those videos, and then I came back and I just thought about it a lot more, because I'm trying to I'm still holding on to that past self and it's not allowing me to grow. So then I went on to unlist all the other videos, the documentary videos, the business videos from my channel. I just told myself, you know what, like they're still on the channel, but they're unlisted. Like if you have a link, you could click on the link and you still watch the videos, but you won't see them on my channel. So I just told myself like I need to approach this whole YouTube thing differently. you know I need to recreate myself, which is something that you're going to find yourself having to encounter from time to time in life. you know because you'll find sometimes you're failing to progress, you're failing to become a different person, you're failing to become a better person, you're failing to make more money or something like that, because you're still holding on to a past self. One thing I picked up from reading books, and I think this was which book was it? I think Aware of the Superior Man, or it was 48 Laws of Power, or it was 7 Habits of, one of the books, I picked up this from a book before, and it was, you have to be able to adopt like water, be formless like water, and you have to be able to recreate yourself from time to time. We don't know this, most of us don't know this, but we tend to struggle with fitting into an identity that we are allotted as a person. Like, society is going to describe you in a certain way, and many times you find that you feel like you're boxed in. You're boxed in, like that is you, and you have to keep on wearing this personality because people have said Chris is like this, Chris is like that, Chris is like that, and then you find that you only have to stick to that identity. But when you do that, when you keep on just trying to live in accordance to how people see you, it stops you from growing. It stops you from growing. So for a while I was holding on to this idea that I'm this guy who who reads books, who's into business and what. And I was trying to change that approach with my subsequent videos, with my recent videos, but I was still holding on to the past self. And so when I first removed all the videos where I was just my everyday videos that I usually post, I was telling myself I need to start approaching my channel like the way I was doing before. And then yesterday I just I was actually reading the book Share Your Work, and in the book he also talks about the same thing that I've just said, like your ability, but he talks about it in a different way. In this sense, he's talking about it in how on how you should approach your YouTube channel, right? On how you should approach creating content. Because most times when people are thinking of creating content, the first thing that comes to mind is I have to speak on something, I have to be knowledgeable about something, I have to be an expert or something, like I have to have something to say. But it doesn't really need to be the case, It doesn't really need to be the case for me right now. After having put out videos like on a consistent basis, where I'm putting out videos like every day and not really having much to say, I just came to the realization that for me, creating content like this is a way for me to like document my everyday life, but also a way for me to grow with an audience. If my life is progressing a certain type of way, at least if I'm sharing that process with a certain group of people, you, the viewers, it gives me a sense of like community. But also, you on the other side, it allows you to feel like you're not going through life on your own, and there's also someone out there who you can look back to and feel like there's some progress. Like, at least if I document my experiences and all, you can get what I'm saying. Like, you can almost live vicariously through me, right? So that was the idea that was having in mind. That was the idea that came in mind. And also this book Share Your Work also talked about it, because it like that's the one of the biggest things that hinder most people from making content. But nowadays YouTube is just a platform where anything can go, and I was feeling like if I continue taking up this approach, maybe it's going to allow me make videos a lot more consistently, and also just feel easy about making content, and also this other thing is coming in mind, in that for you, the best way you're going to be able to meet a goal or to reach a certain success is when you can see or almost see the end of the tunnel, or you can see the end of the tunnel, like you have a goal, something that you want to achieve, right? And I remember when I started the series of putting out videos every single day, the idea that was lingering in my head was I need to better my speaking abilities. I need to be able to turn on the camera and just speak, and just express an idea, say an idea out, right? And that drove me for a while. It drove me for a while, and I just kept on showing up. But after that period got done, then I just started putting out videos just to show up, but I wasn't really having something that was really aspiring to, and that could keep me fired up to keep showing up and making these videos. So recently I was just thinking about, like, what should I really aspire to going into 2026, or taking on this approach of putting out videos every single day. And for me, it just came up in the sense that let me make my channel in a sense that people come and watch my videos every single day, depending on how often I post, but I'm planning to like post every single day, you know, but and not in a way that you're coming to get educated, but more like to follow up with what's going on in my life, and also not feel you on the other side not feel like you're just going through life on your own. Like, you know, there's someone that you can still watch on YouTube and feel a sense of growth, you know. At least if something new is happening in my life and I speak on it, you can maybe relate with it, or you can also look into your life and see, oh, what has progressed in my life. Like, that's the idea that was coming. That's the idea that I'm using to get me fired up to make YouTube videos a lot more consistently, you know, instead of me just thinking that I need to be knowledgeable on something and I need to speak on something with like the best ideas in my head. No, I just feel like I just need to show up and be able to speak to the audience, at least from an approach, at least in a sense that I'm you. I've just lost my thought process there, but you get the idea, right? You get the idea. So that's what I'm going to be having in mind that's the approach that I'm going to have as I'm making my videos. My videos now, from now on, are not going to be like I need to be knowledgeable, I need to have something to say or what. It's just going to be like I need to show up. I need to show up, tell you what's up, what's going on, you know, and give you an opinion if I have any to give, but mainly to show up, mainly to document my life, mainly to grow with an audience. And yeah, I'm actually excited for this. You know, I've been doing this almost unconsciously with other previous videos, but now I'm going to do this knowingly, you know, but also just going with the flow. I feel like this is the approach that I should have taken when I was just starting my YouTube channel, you know, and it could be the same for many of you, especially if you've been doing this YouTube thing for a while, and it hasn't gotten you anywhere, you know, it hasn't gotten you anywhere. So you feel like, man, I'm not meant for content. I'm not meant for YouTube. I'm not meant to make videos, you know. And for a while, that was you know, I was drifting from one niche to the other, like I was just jumping from this to that, like just trying to find something that goes. But the one thing that I was not really understanding or picking up on was I was trying to be something that I'm not, you know. And maybe at a certain period of my life I was that thing, you know, because when I was reading books it was so different from how I am right now. Like I wouldn't be this expressive like this on camera when I was reading books. Like I had this way of thinking where I was like, you know, the knowledge that I pick up and what I don't need to come and I speak it on camera, because like what point am I trying to prove, you know? But when you express yourself, when you speak on ideas, you know, when you speak up on something, you don't only appear knowledgeable, but you also allow people to read into you, or to live vicariously through you, in a sense. So there is a giveaway and a take-in a sense. So yeah, like right now I am excited. It's almost going to, you know, it takes me back to the whole thought process of oversharing. You know, the internet is a place that anything goes, right? And to an extent, if you're taking an approach like me, it feels like you're oversharing, right? But what is oversharing, honestly? I did speak in one of my videos, you know, and I told you, and I said that most times you might be thinking that people are out to get you, or people are judging you, or people are thinking about you, but people are not really doing that. Most people are really like just watching your content just to like, they're thinking of themselves first, but using you as a front to assess themselves, you know. So when you think and then you're like, oh my god, I'm oversharing, you know, oh, I'm oversharing, I'm putting myself out there, like people are not, you're not really even like first person in mind when people are watching your videos. Like I see it in myself also when I'm watching content. Most times I'm watching a video, picking up on ideas from the video, but to see how does it apply in my life, how does it help me out in my life, not just watching for the sake of watching, of entertainment, you know. So we see ourselves first, and rarely do we see the other person. So when you're out there thinking, that, oh, if I'm making videos like Chris, I'm going to be, you know, oversharing, you know, no one really gives a shit about you. That's how I think about it. When I'm making my videos nowadays, I just simply be like, no one really gives a shit about me. Like, most people are just trying to find a way how I can benefit them through the videos that I make. And so, yeah, I feel like I've rambled way too much in the video right now. Maybe I'm just trying to keep the video going. But yeah, for an update right now, after making this video, I'm going to the garage. I'm going to pick up the car. It's been a long process. It's been a long day, a long while. But yeah, I'm going to pick up the car. It's fixed. Everything is car. Actually, I went through a series of processes. I think I'll talk about this in another video. Yeah, I think it could be for a video tomorrow. But yeah, I did go through a series of processes where I first made some fixes, tried to get the car out. Then another problem was up. Like, just some jazzes there. But yeah, now I'm going to pick up the car, and it's good that I'm ending the year with everything car. At least that's the feeling that I'm having as I'm going to pick the car. So yeah, guys, I'm going to be putting out videos every day, man. Just get yourselves ready, man. Turn on your notifications, subscribe if you're new here, like the video, and let's get with this YouTube thing.